Warm welcome to all the wonderful audience and, of course, our expert for the session, Ms. Kuntal Bhandare. I'm Ruchira Banka. I'm the director at Art Journal Foundation. Uh, Art Journal Foundation, as we call it, AJF, is an organization by teachers, of teachers, and for teachers that aims to create a research platform for learners across age groups. On the occasion of turning two, with support from our collaborators from across the globe, we wish to introduce to your platform for expression and adding a spark to your creativity. This is Spark Your Creativity, conceptualized and planned by Art Journal Foundation in association with the Life-Radiant Association. This is an event where we invite articles or research papers from teachers and artists to contribute their expressions on topics like art and culture, perspective and perception, art and psychology, art and emotion, art's role in the society, and many more. The interesting part is that you need not be an art teacher to contribute here, but your expertise can be brought up from any subject to relate to the given topics. And the details of the course, the event can be found on our website. The link is on the chat box for your quick reference. And to add the spark is today's session, which shall support you to understand the in-depth requirements of writing articles and research papers. And who else could do it better than Ms. Kuntal Bhandare? Ms. Kuntal carries 20 years of experience as a librarian with 6 years as an extended essay coordinator. She's one of the founding members of the Life-Radiant Group and one of the core members of the International Collaboration of Extended Essay Group. She's an examiner for World Studies Extended Essay and holds a master's degree in library sciences. She's a passionate librarian working towards upskilling librarians through the Life-Radiant Association. This event that we spoke about, you can register for the Spark Your Creativity event and contribute and submit your entries by the 30th of June. The selected articles or research papers shall be published on our Journal Foundations and the Life-Radiant Association websites. And the selected articles that need any sort of enhancement shall be supported by a team of expert mentors. We look forward to your participation, and yes, you stand a chance to win a trophy if your work is selected. And now I hand over to Ms. Kuntal for her expertise to come in and flow in.
Thank you, Ms. Ruchira. So, as Ms. Ruchira introduced, I'm from Librarian Association. I am a librarian by profession, 22 years in a school library, and she's been mentioning extended essay and world studies extended essay. So people who are not from the IB world, I would just like to give a little bit of gist. It's a 4,000 word research component that a 17 and an 18-year-old have to do it. Without that, they cannot pass in. So that's my job, to teach them a complete research skill. And that's where I'm over here to even give a little bit, throw a light up on the research, writing a research paper, a very noble thought by the Art Journal Foundation of bringing about a compilation of research paper. Trust me, this is the people have joined. This is going to help students and mentors and teachers who are new to this field, especially students, because when I talk about extended essay, all IB schools and all IB students have to do this 4,000 word component. And there are many, and visual art or performing art is one of the major subject which is being done by an IB student in a group 6 subject. So we really every year have lot of students doing research. That means extended essay in either visual art or dance or music or theater. So if this resource is compiled, I think it will go a long way to help the students. So yes, a little bit of mentoring from our end. We are there to support you all, and a little bit of you all come out of the comfort zone with your expertise to write down a research paper or an article, and let's create a resource together which definitely would help our teachers and students. So yeah, so let's begin our journey. So one thing I would like to ask you, what was the first thing that, and this is what I start my research sessions with, whether it's with teachers or students, that what was the first thing that you researched today morning? I mean, how does research, just to see that you can put it in the chat. It can be anything. It can be my name. It can be about librarian. It can be just looking for just looking for a road, or just looking for a place. It can be anything. Just in a minute, if you can put down on a chat that what was anything that you've researched, let's say not morning, from yesterday night to today morning before you join this session. So yes, let's put it on the chat. Okay, let's see the chats. Answers are coming. Oh, somebody very nicely said researched about Nepal. Great. So yeah, if you're planning to go for a vacation, you would definitely research about a place. Temperature in Canada, very nice, Ms. Ruchira. Thank you. Yeah. Because if our known people are there, we would like to be. I would really appreciate answers from people. Let's see what you have researched. It can be as simple as what is the price of petrol today or what is the price of diesel today. That's it, because we need to know the information. I'm waiting for the answers. And I can see really two good risk takers who have put in the answers. Okay. Thank you, Maithili. AI tools which can be useful for classification of library books. Yeah. What is a better for a librarian? Researching about green library. Lovely. Oh, that's a nice concept, the green library. Navdeep, you would like to know more about your research later as a librarian. Okay, let's go. Let's not. I think people are just getting up Saturday morning, or are they in the work? So let's see. Research about Indian folk art. And lovely. So, yeah, so I mean to say the research is a part of our life. Research is something that we do every day. When we are researching, the term itself said researching. So when we are researching an information, whether it's a temperature, whether it's about a place, whether it's about art, or as simple as a price tag, we research practically every day and every point of time. And that's where we are here, that how do we take this research, sorry, in a more constructed manner. This is the today's session that you're going to look into. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is a research paper, because we all understand that it's not normal newspaper that we are going to read. It's more and more intense and detailed about it. So within that, you will be looking at understanding the research paper and why a research paper important. Second thing is the research process. Very important, before you start writing a research paper, there should be a research process, and then ultimately writing a paper. So when I, as an EE coordinator, start a session with my students, we have this whole research, like we have a deadlines, and we have this whole research component going on for 8 months, which is divided into these parts. So as I just now said, that what is a research? Research paper is a piece of an academic writing which provides analysis, interpretation, and argument based on in-depth independent research. These are the keywords. Why have I used this word keywords? Because in research, you will be finding that the keywords play very important role. Even when you're searching something, keywords are something which are going to be very important. So when you're writing an academic writing paper, you will have to analyze, you will have to interpret, and you will have to give argument based on the in-depth research that you're doing. So research papers are similar to academic essay, but they are usually longer and more detailed assignment designed to assess not only your writing skill, but also your skills in a scholarly research. Writing a research paper requires to demonstrate a strong knowledge of your topic, engage with variety of sources, and make original contribution to the debate. Now this, if you see something in bracket, that's my in-text citation, because I have researched this particular introduction. It's not my word, because I have taken it from somewhere, I have cited it. So if you see the words analysis, that means they say here, I'm just connecting with writing a research paper requires you to demonstrate strong knowledge of your topic. That means you're analyzing your topic. Engage with variety of sources. You are interpreting your sources. An argument based on an in-depth research, make an original contribution to the debate. So that's how it's getting connected, that you see that this is what a research paper requires to be. Please stop me at any point of time if you're confused about anything, or if you would not, if I'm going too fast. So I'll stop at that point of time, because I know these sessions we have to wind up in 1 hour. So I basically, it is not a very activity based session, because we can't do writing of research paper in 1 hour. It's more of a talk session. So please, at any point of time you feel that it's too fast or there is some confusion, please raise your hand and I'll stop, because this needs to be understood. Okay,
Yeah, and everyone has access to mic and camera. So if you are looking forward, please do that.
perfect. Thank you, Ms. Ruchira. Yeah. So this is a small video which I'm not going to play the full thing because this website, this PPT would be shared with you. But when I was researching, this is from Grammarly. Again, one of that I'll be talking about the tools which are helping in research. And this video really speaks very nicely about what is a research and how research can take place. So I will just play it. I know you can hear
What's
the
up, everyone? I'm back on Level Up to teach you a 9-step guide on how to write a research paper. And trust me, a lot of research went into this video topic. But before diving into the latest episode of writing and communication advice from Grammarly, be sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. And consider downloading Grammarly today if you're looking to up-level your next piece of writing. Okay, now on to research papers. If you've watched Level Up before, you know Grammarly loves to talk about papers, essays, and reports. We've got you. In this video, we'll explain how to write an academic research paper step by step. I'll also cover areas like how to start a research paper, how to write a research paper outline, and how to use citations and evidence in your paper.
Okay, I'm not allowing her to speak the whole thing because then what am I doing over here? If she's doing the part of it, you can watch. But the purpose of putting this video over here, that there are very strong research supportive tools which were not there few years back. Today we have in support of an AI tool also, and it would be very good to use an AI tool rather getting frightened of it and saying that, oh no, it's going to, we are plagiarizing. But there are a perfect way to use these tools and implement in our research will really help us. Many of you must be knowing Grammarly. Grammarly is again one of the very strong tool which helps in improving your research writing skills. And if you visit their websites and all, you'll get a lot of information. So please have a look at this video a little later to get in more in depth about the research and its introduction and the steps. So yeah, let's move ahead. Okay. Now, before we start writing a research paper, we need to understand the research papers. So there are like what I do with extended essay and at IB level, the research paper, it's a type of a research paper. We call it as a mini PhD because it's an 18-year-old writing a 4,000 word research in a subject which they are interested in the subject which they are learning. There's a supervisor who is guiding them. There's a proper topic RQ process, but it is being guided with a rubric of assessment. So yeah, that's a academic research paper, which is argumentative in style. So basically in-depth investigation. There are certain research papers where you will find that they move beyond simply reporting the fact and dive into a specific topic or issue. Just now somebody said that they researched on Green Library. I can just get into it, understand it, write a paper on Green Library as what it means and how its future is going to look like. At the same time, I can even give my idea about how can I implement a Green Library little different in my town. Suppose if I'm in a place like where there's water shortage, there's the temperature reaches 45-50 degrees. How am I sustaining the Green Library? So I will go little bit more into it, getting as a detective, getting the clues and coming up with a solution. So that's an in-depth investigation. Evidence-based research papers are not about personal opinions that we have to be very mindful of. They present well-reasoned arguments supported by credible sources and data. That is why it is research. We are researching something and we are going to support it with a very strong database. I mean, with a proper citation and a credible data. We will be giving, we don't give in an opinion as an opinion when we are writing research paper. This is what even I tell my students. Never write in a research paper that in my opinion, but always say that through the analysis of different sources, this is what the conclusion is derived from. So that you have analyzed the sources and that is how you're putting your idea forward. original contribution. While you build upon others' work, a good research papers offers your unique insight, analysis, or a perspective on a topic. The more you will get in depth into the topic, you will find that how much there is, you will start analyzing it, you will start having a perspective on a topic. As I'm again taking this idea of green library because it just struck me and it's amazing. So definitely I would like to research more on this. And how can I look forward for? Because that's what the time is today. And how do I take it today? Today we are facing a severe global issue, which is global warming, and such things, such initiatives, how can they help fill? That would be my perspective on the topic once I do an in-depth research. So first we have to understand what type of research paper are we going to write on and what are we looking for our research. That's our very first step before entering even into thinking about a topic. Now, if you, just a second, yeah, sorry, yeah. So again, if we say what are these research paper, what are they, why are research papers important? Why do you think people research? Why there are so many institutions like Tata Institute of Social Sciences? There are many other institutes who actually spend lot of money on research and writing research paper. Because research papers are important, definitely they're giving you a perspective and in-depth knowledge on one particular topic and maybe a solution. Because scientific research definitely would come up with a solution, but we are not going that way. So apart from that, what is it doing with us? It's developing a critical thinking. When you focus on analyzing information, when you start writing a RQ, that means when you are building up a questions, you are forming your well-reasoned conclusion. These skills are really getting developed. And trust me, I would not say that I'm an expert researcher because, to be very frank, I have not written a research paper till now. But yes, in my 15 years of IB experience and being an e-coordinator from past 8 years, I have checked many research papers and I have developed a lot, like thinking about what the student wants to write, what is the approach, how is this topic how the topic in RQ are matching, what are the sources the student is using. That thinking has developed me a lot in different areas. So this is what the research paper research paper looks forward for. And trust me, it's not easy to write a research paper. It's lot of work which we do now, going ahead, coming back, looking at our research, making changes. That's how we are building up a critical thinking. Build a research experts. You will learn to navigate databases. When you're researching, definitely you're searching the information again. You're going to search from reliable sources, from many databases that either your organization has subscribed to, or you have a library where you have gone through and you've taken a membership like American Library or British Council Library membership gives you a variety of exposure to the databases and of every subject, which you can browse through. So that's where you will find your expertise will build up. You will evaluate complex information, like you will break down the complex information, which are these skills would be really, really beneficial for any academic and professional life. Because once you start doing it, if you are a teacher, if you are a professor, you're definitely going to build up these skills with your students, which is the need of the hour. Today in the world of AI, today in the world where information exposure or information, I would say there is a nuclear bomb of information. It's very difficult for a student to focus on a research paper. It should not be that a research paper is just a copy paste of from different information. So if we don't understand this process, it will be very difficult for us to guide. On communication skills, research paper challenge you to write clearly, concise, concisely, and persuasively using evidence to support your claim. This happens very unknowingly. When we are writing a research paper, we have to write it very clearly, very perfect, with the evidence support, with a very persuasive language that we are using, and we have to we have to support all our evidence with the claims. That's where we develop our writing skills. Once we write a research paper, we really feel that, we have developed in the writing skills, and we know much more than we know before it. And that helps us in our future communication also. If we are an educator, that's an amazing thing, because that really helps. It by default will flow down to your students. So this is something which at a personal level, a research paper would help us. If there is any confusion, please stop me over here. Uh, I would like to take some questions right now if you feel, or should I go ahead? Because it should not be that there's a bombardment of information and you're lost. Any questions? I would like to take it. Otherwise, we go ahead. Yeah. On anything to share at this stage. Yes, yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. First of all, thank you for this wonderful opportunity for showing us how to write a research paper, because I was in the idea of doing a PhD, and since I didn't have any clue, I was that, okay, fine, let me start doing. First thing is that. And second thing, I am waiting for a call from an IB school. And when you told me that you deal with IB kids, and I got so excited, and I was even telling Maithili yesterday that I would love to join this and do it. But my question here is, you told us that we could use AI tools when we are writing papers. What do you mean by that? When I ask you what do you mean by that, my question is, can we put our stuff there and ask it to rephrase it, or can we use it for finding journal articles related to the topic? Because I have done both, and my professor has actually told me that if you're going to use Quillbot, I would call it plagiarism and I would throw your paper out.
Maithili, would you like to answer this? She's an AI expert, and then I'd like to answer from the research base.
Yeah, but yeah, so what we can do is, Srividya, actually for both it can be useful. Whatever you have a stuff, you can put in AI, and also you can get it rephrased, and also to find the journal. Okay, so you can use it both the ways. There are different tools for both the things. So I think that we can do it in a personal DM way,
Yes.
and I can get you with all the details.
Thank you.
Yes.
Why Maithili? Because she's from Librarian, the members who don't know, and she's our core member from Librarian, and she's an AI expert. So I would say, yeah, to answer you, what I tell my students, see, at the initial step, when you have a topic in an RQ, suppose you are, do not tell AI tools to write for you. Take AI's guidance. You put up a topic, you don't know what research question is coming up, So just tell an AI tool, tell the chat GPT, okay, hi, just give, this is my topic, these are my keywords, and I'm looking forward for at least 3 options of a research question. Can you guide me? That's where they will guide you very well. And then you take that ahead. Secondly, what you can do, if you're done with the topic and a research question, I tell this to my students also. Put your research question, put your ideas that this is what you have, like you have been, this is my research question. These are the sources. And I would like to give a flow of your research, that in which way your research would like to go. And then ask, can you please give me an outline? It will give you a very well constructed outline. These things if taken, it's not plagiarized. And we acknowledge it. So we can very well cite a chat GPT bot and a prompt and say that, yes, I have taken a help of an AI tool to furnish my topic and RQ and outline. That's it. We are not using a yeah, what your professor said is Quillbot, because what happens many a times, students put a lot of their work in these rephrasing tools, and then they say that rephrase it for me. But then in that process, what happens when, suppose, because I will talk from IB point of view, when extended essays are argumentative in nature. ChatGPT does not know what you are talking about an argument. ChatGPT will not know. So when you're rephrasing stuffs, that part just goes away. I would not going to dip deep into it, because I know that if you put proper prompts for ChatGPT, ChatGPT will do that also for you. But rather than that, we bring in more of it will to guide you for basis, use AI tools. So my next slide is again about that before you start research, as you're doing, as she said that she's doing PhD, the best thing is to please set aside a schedule for yourself. I tell this to my students also. First, understand this phrase, I liked it. And they say trying to write a research paper without understanding the guidelines or an assignment is like trying to bake a cake without following a recipe. You're likely to use wrong ingredients and techniques and therefore get poor results. So before you start even with topic and RQ, when you register yourself for a PhD or any other research, get some specific details. Try, or you're writing a simple research paper for us, for Librarian or for Art Journal Foundation. But still, you will have to decide how long the paper has to be. If you're writing a 20-page long research paper, and if your audience is a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, not 14, sorry, 16, 17, 18-year-old student, do you think that 20-page intense research paper would work? No. Then you will have to prefer the citation style, because very important. The day one when we start, we teach our students about citation styles. We say that MLA 9 is the one that we are going to use, so that they know that they start working on an MLA 9 citation style, because any research paper is not completed without proper citation style. Numbers and types of sources that are allowed. Check this, because I again would go back giving an example of extended essay. If you're doing a science EE, I mean science research paper, it's more on a practical base. That's the requirement of the research, and they say that not too much of secondary data has to be used. So if you're giving a science EE research paper where the requirement is of a primary data and you have a 10-page citation, that means you have not followed the guidelines. Whereas if I'm doing an economics and business management research paper or an art research paper, my lot of it would be a combination of primary and secondary data. Especially when we say art would be a lot of combination of primary and secondary data, because if the artists are there available, then the interviews can be taken. There are museums that you can visit. Then there is secondary data where books can be used. So first thing that before you start, you should really understand what it is. Just a minute. Okay, sorry. Now you have to even think about specific aspects of the paper having different due dates, or is it a due in full on specific date? Like we have, again, to give you an example of IB student, we would say in 8 months process, there are at least 5 deadlines that they come for, that they have to first submit their reflection, then the first draft, then the revised draft, then the final draft, and then the viva voce. So those deadlines we should understand so that we can start backworking and scheduling our research, and by when we should be putting down our important strategic deadline. Please take this part very seriously. I mean, before you start a research, setting up a schedule and an assignment is very, very important. I allow my students at least 3 months before we start to really put down a scheduler and even understand that when are they, because we release a timeline, we give them the whole idea that how the EE process would look like. If that we are prepared, or if you are getting something prepared, then please do that. If that does not come, suppose you're writing for us, you have a deadline. Ms. Ruchira has announced an event that by this time that research paper has to be submitted. So now it's your job to go plan back end, that what research, and give yourself a deadline, set a schedule, and see that you finish the research and submit it on time. So other formatting details like footnotes, subtitles, heading, double spacing. I mean, what is the requirement? If the company, if we don't give you any requirement, there are set requirements for research paper, which if you Google, you will come to know that double spacing or normally readable font 12, or you should have footnotes. If there should be titles and subtitles, always helps. There should be a proper heading, the content page, the page numbers. All these things mind a lot, because that becomes easy. Sketch a schedule according to the due days and how long it will take you to complete each task. Day by day, week by week. Please cut that. If, like, ma'am said that she's doing PhD. She would be really going through a very big, huge process. And I think scheduling will help a lot. Please back plan. If you know when you have to submit, go back and like, from the day from submission till today, how would it work? So before we start any research, this is a lot of time to be spent on understanding the assignment and get a schedule. These are some tools that will help you in setting a scheduler. So there are project management scheduling tools. Then we work very strongly with Google Calendar. You put something in Google Calendar and trust me, you will never forget in life. Like it will haunt you. You will have those pop-ups coming on your phone. You will have pop-ups coming on your desktop. It's going to it is like your personal assistant who is whipping you every time. Oh, you have a deadline. And we use it intensively. And trust me, it really works very good. So there are many research and reference management tools. Most of you must be knowing about Zotero, Mendeley, amazing tools. There are many such which I could not include over here, but these are few. There are many time management tools. There are many note-taking tools. Use the technology over there. When we say, where do we use AI? Because all these tools are equipped by an AI system. So use that. There are many ways in where you have ready-made paper formatting. You just have to put into your work and it will work for you in formatting. So just spend the time on that. Make your life easy, rather working hard, work smart. Okay, somebody's asked what are citation styles. I will come back to it. For that, we should have another session. Okay, any questions before we get into writing the paper? Rather than, I'll stop here for a minute because do you think that assignments and scheduling and rescheduling, if you all are teachers, if there are some teachers over here would really agree with me that yes, scheduling is very, very important. So if no questions, I'll go ahead. But if there are any questions, please, I'll wait for a second then. Because too much of information is an overdose. Okay. So I think no questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and understand how to write the paper. Because we have spent enough time understanding our assignment, and then let's deep dive into writing the research paper. Okay, the most important thing is topic. That is what we were discussing right now. If you have, and that's what we, please just give me a minute. Sorry. Okay, so as we said, that topic, you first have to decide on a very broad topic. From that, we come down to a narrower argue. I would not say that please use any AI tool to understand, to come up with a topic, because that's your thing. Yes, but from topic to argue, we can use AI tools. So once you've figured out what your assignment is about, it's time to choose a specific topic and research question. Just now, as Ms. Ruchira announced that there is an event coming up where you're going to write, you can write a research paper. You know that the assignment is related to art. So you know that something that which you are going to write, the topic should be related to art. It can be visual art, a performing art, but you know that there is an art topic. It's time to choose, so start thinking on that end. Then think about that, is this topic appropriate? Now, we have given you a little bit just about saying that who our users are. There will be teachers, there'll be students. So you will have to think about whether the topic is appropriate to the subject and is it appropriate to the students. Narrow the focus of the paper. First, you will have a very broad topic, but then when you will research more, when you'll do literature review, that means when you'll read lot on your topic, you will try to find out that there's a topic which has to be narrowed down to come to a proper argue. Choose the topic that not only interests you, but also has been interesting to the reader. Because if you don't choose a topic which is interesting you won't be able to research it. As we say to our students, and IB also speaks about, sorry to give this example every now and then, because that's a very, we're doing this for a very young age group and it's been done in a very systematic way. When we start introducing this 4,000 word topic essay to them, we say that you should be passionate about your topic. If you're passionate about your topic, you will do a commendable job. You may want to choose question that your paper will answer. That the way when you're researching, you're looking for something specific. The answer that you find to this question may ultimately become your thesis statement. So that's where you have to think about. So think about the beginning, think about the conclusion, that how would your thesis statement develop. This is a very simple example. If your topic is pay equality in workforce, question can be, do women get paid less than men do for completing the same amount of work? The thesis would be, women get paid less than men in certain jobs. A very simple example to how to come from a topic, question and thesis. I'm using this slide again because I had done a same type of a session with the students of when we did the Art Journal Foundation along with Art Journal Foundation. And this is exactly the way I teach my students to come from a broad topic to a narrower research question. Suppose the good research starts with good topic. And the topic this was of visual art. Imperialism in late 19th century, very broad topic, right? It is about a type of a art style in the late 19th century. Now, I'll research more. I have keywords over here, imperialism, and then in late 19th century. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I cannot pronounce this ever. I don't know why. Okay, research question is, how did the imperialist movement impact the traditional convention of art during the late 19th century in France? And what were the key techniques and innovation employed by the imperialistic artists to challenge established artistic norms? Can you see that from a very broad topic? Think that if you had this visual art topic and you had to research on it, where would you end? You would end nowhere. Like you will just keep on researching, and it would not go the right way. So you will have to come down. So the keywords was late 19th century. Now, when we say late 19th century, are we connecting to one of the location where this art form developed? Are we looking at, and what are we looking in this art movement? Are we looking at the techniques, innovation? So this will come when you will write down, when you will do a lot of sense, spend a lot of time on topic to argue. AI tools can help you over here. You can put this topic in an AI tool and ask them about the type of RQs can be formulated on this visual art topic. So now the keywords, if you see over here, definitely the art form imperialism, late 19th century, France, impact, traditional convection, techniques, innovation, challenging norms. This recent question delves into a specific period and an art movement. While exploring its influence on traditional art convention, it is also emphasized the techniques and innovation used by the artist to subvert established norms in the art world. Now, if such type of a research question, I have to do a research on it, I am more focused. So the research question was built from the topic imperialism in the late 19th century by identifying the key elements and the aspect of the topic that merit a deeper investigation. And here is how the RQ was constructed. You identify the main topic. The initial topic was imperialism in late 19th century. This topic signifies a specific art movement occurring within a particular historical period in a specific geographical context. Now, we have not added the geographical context in the topic because topic is always huge and broad. Then when we narrow down it, because this art movement started in one particular geographical context, we have used that. Then we recognize the significance of imperialism. Imperialism was a revolutionary art movement that challenged the traditional conventions of 19th century. So what was it? It was a challenge to the traditional convention. So that's where the one more key point comes in. So we are suggested that we should explore more into it. Then we highlight the impact. The RQ seeks to understand how imperialism impacted traditional convention of art. This implies that there was a notable shift or an influence brought by this art form because there was a cultural challenge, traditional challenge to a traditional convention. So we are highlighting the impact. Then we are emphasizing the specific. The RQ dives into the how and what aspects. how imperialism impacted the traditional conviction, and what are the key techniques and innovation used over here. Setting a geographical and temporal context, the argue specifies the late 19th century in France. This helps us narrow down the scope and provide a clear context of research. So whenever you want to begin a journey from a topic to argue, identify the main topic, recognize the significance of the topic, highlight the impact of the topic, that what the impact, and suppose as we said this art form had an impact on culture, then emphasize the specific, that how it happened and what happened. And then if there is a cultural context or a geographical setting required, please add that. So it becomes a more specific argue. This is a very good diagram I came across, and it says that importance of a research title. You should always, your half work is done if your topic and title would be catchy, like it provides focus and clarity, if it is attracting the audience, it is establishing relevance, forms a first impression, and increase discoverability, because don't leave it to readers to discover that, oh, what is this topic talking about? I really don't understand. So let's not get, or to your examiner or the guide to really whack their heads as, what should I first understand the title and topic and then I understand argue? Make everybody's life easy. Now, how do we begin research? After you've decided the direction that you want to take for paper, it's now time to begin researching the topic. Just because you've chosen a topic in question does not mean you have to stick with this one to the rest of the paper. We tell the students the same thing. Use lot of time researching topic and argue. But I tell students that once you go ahead with the topic, your argue will change, because the more you will research, oh, you will find, oh, I should have added this in argue. This looks good. Or I should have added the impact on a particular community by this art form. And so more you'll research, your argue is going to change, and that's completely fine. But again, be very mindful that give yourself a deadline. Again, I'm going back to the scheduler. Give yourself a deadline that after this time, I am not going to change my argue. Because if I change my argue, my research will go for a toss. And that's exactly we do with our students. Yesterday, I did my session with my students, and I told them that after this, you're not going to change your topic, because if you change your topic, your whole research goes for a toss. Yes, the research question may change, it may tweak, but do not change your topic. Now, some things to keep in mind when researching: make sure you use variety of sources. In IB world, when we check as an examiner, when we check this, more grades are given to student when there's variety. There's internet, there's book, there's journal article, there are interviews, there's a combination of physical and primary and secondary data. Allow yourself enough time for research. Again, going back to scheduling, in your scheduled time, do not give 15 days for research. Keep a month or two for a research, because research takes time. This will be the most intense part of the paper. Allow at least 2 hours researching session every day. Just research. Keep records and copies of the information you obtain. Have a habit of establishing an annotated bibliography. What is annotated bibliography? When you're researching, you come through a lot of links. Keep a document where you will say, this is the link of the website. What does the website say? Why did I use it? So you will write down a little bit of information of the website, and on which date did I use it. This information will help you going back when you want to find an information. So keep that log ready for you. So keep records and copies of all information you obtain. Again, here, many tech tools will help you. As simple as Padlet. Start putting all your links on Padlet. You have tabs, you create tabs for each and every topic, subtopics, put the links, date, and write a little bit of, because Padlet, when you put a link, you have to write a little bit of information, put a brief, that becomes your annotated bibliography. So technology is there to support you. Use that. Make sure you also make note from where you found the information. That's where we call it as an annotated bibliography. In the field of library science, annotated bibliography and literature review are very, very important. When we do our research and we are told, we are actually given a session on how to do an annotated bibliography. Okay, this is a repetition, sorry. Okay, now, sorry, here. keep records and copies. Yeah, make sure that you make note of everything. Take note making. This is what we tell students. You're talking to a peer, a very good information comes in. You're talking to a professor, information comes in. If you're doing a research like a PhD, keep your diary and pen always ready. You may not know where the most important information can come in from. Have a habit of note taking. When you're reading, when you're seeing, when you're talking, when you're watching, do a note taking. Such information will include the title of the book, dated published, author, pages. This is when we are doing the book, internet, and journal articles. Try to put the information on your own words so that you know. This also can be the heading of annotated bibliography. You can, when you create annotated bibliography, you can just say title of article or article from a website or a book, date when it was published, who is the author, and if it's a website, put the link. That's it. And you're sorted. If you do not take quotes directly from source, make sure that you make notes of it. You should also be making notes about specific conclusion that you're going to draw from the material. From the very beginning, start thinking about your conclusion. How would your conclusion look like? Okay. Yesterday with my students, I finished my outline also before they go for summer break, because in IB, we break for summer now. So if they have outline, they will have a very good background to research on. So I make them do the outline. Outline is very, very important in any of the research paper. So once you have collected all your research, and when you're reading, when you're writing, you will by now have a clear picture. Again, going back to scheduling, schedule yourself for an outline. By when would you outline your research? So what do you mean by outline? You say introduction, there has to be a thesis statement, because a thesis statement will have a conclusion. Then what are the different main headings and paragraphs? Then there are supporting subtopics. I would say headings, subtopics. Again, the second main heading and subtopics. And then conclusion. Once you're done with this, it's very easy to fill in the answers. So when you're researching, when you're taking notes, when you're writing, and when you've decided that, yes, this is my RQ. Now I'm not going to make any more changes in my RQ. My next step would be to make an outline. I would just like to stop share over here and would like to share something with you, which I use with my students, because just a minute, till then I'm ready to take questions, please. No questions? Sometimes you fear if there are no questions, whether we are going in right direction or not.
There's somebody who's put up on the chat, Ruchika says RQ changing is allowed till what stage?
So that again, we'll have to. So for my students, we don't allow a big change of research question. I mean, we give a month time. Just now, yeah, like yesterday, they've done an outline. They will get this 1 month of summer break. So in that, they are going to research. So when they come back in August, we've told them that your final RQ with a research should be in. Do not give you more time, because the more you will give time to your RQ development, it will keep on changing. You will have to somewhere fix a schedule for it. It can be 15 days. Many a time, 1 month also can just keep on changing your research question. Okay, this is what I shared. This is my website for extended essay, and this is a thing that it's for outline. So here, though it's very IB specific, but I can share with you, because there are topics, how to do research, writing extended essay, research methodology. I'm still constructing it. So here there is a wonderful document about an outline that you just have to give an introduction section where you hook an interest, build an idea required. I hope you can see the website. And it's not the PPT that's been seen, because
Yeah, it's seen.
Yeah. Required you to have an RQ, focus on topic, then literature review section, then in body section, what should be there, then how conclusion should look like. So outline is very, very important. I would again say rather your examiner or your teacher giving you, the mentor giving you a deadline. Definitely those deadlines are there if you are in a very formatted, you are in the, like ma'am is doing PhD. So she'll definitely have a deadline. But if there is no deadline, I would say not more than 15 days for changing of an RQ. Because this is happening with one of my students who is very brilliant in his work, but then he's coming up with so many options that we had to tell him that please stop. Now you have to fix an RQ, otherwise it will be never ending. The next very important thing after outline, when you start writing your research paper, is the draft. You have to organize all your research material. As we said that we'll be doing it in annotated bibliography. Now you start writing your first draft. Keep in mind that there will be multiple drafts. So do not put excessive pressure on the first one. First one is a very normal draft where we'll give you a clear picture as how your writing skills are going about. So are you evaluating the sources which we said in the very first slide? Are you analyzing the sources? Are you giving different perspectives? So when you're writing, once your topics, subtopics have been set up, you start writing on it. You will then realize that where is it moving towards, and try to write in your own voice. Please do not let it feel that it's a completely taken up stuff from internet. Otherwise, it would be very difficult. Do not just spit out the research information. They have said this in a very rude manner, but that's true. Many a time the research gets rejected because people just copy paste and rephrase it by making few words changes, and then there's no point in that research. At your conclusion and thoughts. So when we say, when in the beginning I said that we should not give a personal opinion, yes, but conclusion has to be your by saying that after doing an intense research, referring to the sources, and through the reference, the research has derived to this conclusion. Don't say that you have arrived to. Research has arrived to this conclusion. Remember to cite the sources. Please do remember to cite the sources. It's very, very important. Try to keep the information as organized as possible. Once you have written a draft, proofread it. Before you submit it for your supervisor, please ask if you have a peer who is very good in research to give you a feedback. So as where Ms. Ruchira said that when you will do it for the Art Journal Foundation, there are mentors who may look into your draft and give you a little bit, a push on that. So how to write a final draft? If you see, this link is little blue in color, because I found this lovely Grammarly again has a wonderful source on how to write a thesis statement, research paper. Another wonderful source is Scribd. So please see that you use these sources. Take little time to understand. So after you have revised your initial draft, you should compose your final draft. And this draft should have very few errors. Have a clear organization and be formatted correctly. Before you hand in your paper, you should make sure that you are following elements. The cover page, the final revised copy of your paper, footnotes, page number, citations, works cited page, introduction, very important. Introduction to paper should explain your purpose and what you hope to prove. One tip that we get it from my experience and from the guides that we have read about the research paper that students have to do is introduction should be the last thing to write. Start writing introduction, but make it perfect at the end when your research is done so that it matches your conclusion. Do not be hurry. You can write your introduction, but go back, check the introduction after your research, and then write a conclusion. Body paragraphs give a lot of information that we saw in outline, where you'll give the main summary, then the supportive summary. So that should be there. Include all main points and detail to support you. You should take this information directly from your outline, explain your main points, research that you have conducted and how they navigated, provide an appropriate level of detail to give your reader a background knowledge on the subject. Clarify any terminology that may not be familiar to readers. To give a very simple example, when I tell my students of business management and economics that if they're using a word like banya, I mean, they use that. There was one student who was talking about a very local banya shop and the research was done. I said, please explain that by giving an asterisk and explaining, because your paper is going to go in one of the European countries where the examiner may not know what this word means. So please make the life of your reader and examiner easy. Conclusion. Start by restating the thesis statement. Next, give a summary of your research and how it supports your thesis statement. Conclusion should be more general instead of detailed like the body paragraph. At the end of conclusion, write one sentence that states the overall finding of your paper. This also has a blue link because there's a lovely write-up about how to write a conclusion over here. It's it really give a very good insight on the conclusion. So yeah, going ahead. I'm not going to go into detail of this, but I have added these slides, which I do with my students on citations. There are many citation styles. When do you cite? When you use text, graphic, interview, broadcast, visual, artistic, conversation maps, or your lectures letter. Any work that's not yours, you have to cite it. You have to give an citation. So whenever, as we said, whenever we quote, paraphrase, we use specific work of others. When we are critically developing someone else's work into our own ideas, please give a citation. Nowadays, if you're using an AI tool, please cite it. These are some common citation style guides. These are some common citation generator machine that also will help you. You don't have to do anything. You just have to put in the link, ask them to cite in the citation format you want to. Whether it's MLA 8, 9, Chicago, Harvard, it will do it for you. It will give you in-text and works cited both. Okay. I stop here for the research paper, and I just not will go into detail of an article because what I've done is over here, it's almost similar. Research paper and article, because article, so I have given you in a format over here where it's like, what is research paper? What is an article? So research paper is a verbal presentation of research finding. Here, verbal presentation means not orally dictating it. You are voicing your idea over here after doing a research, and you're giving a thesis statement, a hypothesis, and a conclusion. Whereas article is very focused on sharing findings with a wider audience. Here, it's fine if I don't give a thesis statement and I don't conclude with my agree. Research paper will follow a structure, that is IMRAD, that is introduction, method, result, and discussion. Whereas article, on the other hand, will focus on more flexible structure. Research paper will always include a literature review to survey. Article may also include literature review, but not necessary. Research papers are typically more formal. Articles may not be. This is more in depth. To be very frank, this I will cite ChatGPT over here. So I asked ChatGPT that I'm looking for a very good divide between a research paper and an article. And I have these aspects in my mind that I want to, the purpose of the research paper, the structure of the research paper, and the audience publication. And trust me, this is what ChatGPT gave me. So I feeded a lot of information in the prompt, and this is what it gives you. That how the purpose should be of a research paper, how it should be an article. I'm not going to read in detail because this thing would be shared with you. You can really, and if it's not shared with you, you can really go on ChatGPT and have a look. The reason I'm saying, because we are already over time, and yes, these are my citations which I have used to research on the how to do a research. So yes, I stop here to take questions.
So I have a question. Hi, Marushka here. My question is, initially, for example, if you're using your example of Impressionism in the 19th century, right? At the first glance, many may not know that Impressionism started in France, right? Many people think it was Spain or Italy or something like that, right? So to start that initial search that it was actually in France, I may have to use a search engine like Google or something like that. Is
Yeah.
that something that also that I need to cite?
No, never do you, Marushka, if you know, we never cite Google search engines.
Correct.
Because they're search engines. They are
Correct.
just supporting us, right?
Hmm.
So, you citation, they are supporting you in your research. You will cite the website that you have researched on. Google
Okay.
search, please never do that. And especially with Google Art, this happens. We all are teachers and art educators know that when you throw up something on Google and a Google Art and Culture, it will give you an art image. You can cite Google Art, but please do not. It would be, go to the real image, the real website, take the information from there. Please avoid citing search machines. That's where we as librarian teach these skills to our students as how search can be done. In search engines, the very first thing nowadays, also Google has started doing this, giving you an AI search. And the very first thing, it will give you that information. Don't pick up that. Go to the website and find it. So no need to cite the citation machine.
Continuing with, thank you. Continuing with that thought, if I now have to look for secondary sources like books or magazines or anything like that, publications or whatever, which are not online, but would be a physical copy of something, because I don't want to use all online resources, right? So what would be the best way to go about that process?
Library.
Yeah, but sometimes the library doesn't have all the resources
You
for
will
every
find
student.
library. So like we have Mumbai University Library. Oh my God. You just go in and get in at a charge of 30 rupees. You can spend the whole day and they have a lovely collection of journal article. Yes, but it would be a challenge. Well, they'll throw up to you to a vast resource and they'll say, okay, please find out. There are, again, as I said, Mariska, because we have, I just said that taking membership of British Council Library, American libraries, they charge you a membership of 100, 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 for a year, and you get a variety of databases. There are newspapers. So when I mean variety, sometimes books in physical copy is not mandate. Books can be ebooks. Variety means not only websites. Variety can be databases, journal articles, newspaper article, magazine article, not the format that they are looking that it should be a physical one. It can be digital also.
Okay. Can you show us a well-written research paper just so that we can have a glimpse?
Well-researched written papers are not allowed to be displayed like that.
Okay.
But copyright does come in, because I do have extended essays of my students, but then we are bounded by IB. We are not allowed to even share or show it on it. There are for IB, if you are an IB in an IB school, IB has its own website of extended essay. You can refer to that. They do have exemplars on that. That I can show you that, but at this stage, I think others would not be in.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Marushka,
That's
we can
Yes,
talk
that's
one-to-one.
fine. Thank you.
I'll
Thank
share
you
it
so
with
much.
you.
Thank you.
Because I know Marushka, so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions? Somebody's asked about Google Scholar. So yeah, sometimes you don't find Google Scholar the articles. If you don't know, Government of India runs Shodh Ganga. Shodh Ganga is an amazing compilation of digital library by Government of India, and it's compiled so strongly that it's free of cost. Please start using that. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, I will share the link of IP's website over here. I can share that because that's allowed. I will share the link of my website also. Though it's very focused to extended essay, but you can please use it because I have done a lot of tabs on, writing, how to write a research paper. So, okay, this is the in chat just now. This is my website. And the second website that I'll just put in is the IB exemplars for extended essay. So you get a little bit of ideas how they look into the EEs. That's called extended essay, 4,000 word. Till then, any questions, please? Or any confusion? It's not necessary that every time there's a question.
Padmaja has a question who says, so we cite the magazine articles too.
Everything. The work which is not yours, you have to cite it.
Yes.
Even if your teacher has said something, like I tell this to my students, that if your teachers have said a very good, like they have explained you something which is not in a book, which is not, and you need to, at that time also, if you can't cite your teacher, you have to acknowledge her. You have to cite an interview also, because you're using somebody else's word. Anything and everything which is not yours, citation has to go. This is the
So
idea.
how does that citation happen, Ms. Kuntal?
For an
If
interview,
somebody's words, we can just quote it,
yeah, we
like
can just
somebody
quote
said.
it. So there is a format for an interview citation in MLA. Like the person whom you are interviewing, their name, and you say that it's a personal interview, or you can say over there that it's a lecture, teacher's lecture, and the date. That's it. But please do acknowledge. The research plagiarism is so scary. So just to give you again an example of IB, a student can lose their diploma. They come into a failing condition if things are plagiarized. So please, if the research, and we also, when we are accepting research paper over here, we will be looking into this. So yeah, please see if you are ready to be prepared to submit research paper to Art Journal Foundation, let it be your own work. That's it. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kuntal. I think this was very, very informative, and especially I have personally learned something that I've been looking forward to learn from years, you know. So this is a good platform where well, let us all pick up our key takeaways, and we've gotten the platform now to start one, because it's very good that we become role models for our students. And I'm sure that multiple participants have been thinking about starting to do something, but we don't get a direction. So personally, I've got a direction, and I really hope some others have gotten there too. Spark Your Creativity is your platform to express yourselves and bring in your thoughts to be shared by others. So let's look forward to multiple articles and multiple research papers coming in, and we'll have a set of mentors to guide you through on if you get stuck anywhere too. Thank you so much, Ms. Kuntal. This is
Thank
really
you.
informative.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Have a lovely
Thank you,
weekend.
audience.
And we are looking for a lot of research papers coming in.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, I'll take a
Bye-bye.
leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All the best for your PhD.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.